Hello everybody, Chris here, and in this video I want to show you guys how to reorganize Windows 10 tiles inside of the Start menu. So as of Windows 10, if you pop open the Start menu, then you're going to see the list of your programs on the left, and to the right of that are all of these tiles, which are also optionally categorized by folders. So if you wanted to add a new title to the list over here, there's two very practical ways to do it. One is that if the program exists in the list over here, you can simply find the program that you want to add as a title. You can left click on it, drag it over, and then drop it into the space where you want the tile to be. Another option that will work for any program on your computer is to do the right click and pin to start method. So you can do that with items on the list over here as well. So if I wanted to take BlueStacks here, I can do pin to start. But if instead we were browsing through our computer using the Windows File Explorer and we found another application that we might not be able to find on this list, it does happen. You can find the application file or shortcut and then right click it and then do pin to start. So in the same way, that is going to pop the program up here as a new title, as a new tile in the bottom of the list. So one difference between tiles and the default list of programs on the left is that you can resize tiles to be bigger or smaller depending on how important they are to your workflow and how visible you'd like them to be. So if I take this new Reaper icon, I can right click on it and go to resize, and we can make it small or medium. So when it's small, you would just see the tiny little icon, but you can see that 4 icons can fit in the space of one medium tile. So some tiles, specifically the Windows Live tiles, which apply to a lot of the default apps of Windows 10, like the calendar over here or photos up here, can also be put in wide or large mode. So if we choose wide, you can see how that fits 2 medium squares. And then if we resize it to large, we get this giant tile, which is equal to 4 medium-sized squares. Now that we've done that, though, this organization is looking a little bit ugly. So if you want to change the position of one of your tiles to organize it better, you can left-click on a tile, hold it, and then drag it to where you want it to go. So I can position this to the left of our new giant-sized photos icon. You may also notice that down here we have a grouped category for Explore. So I can add a tile to those groups by dragging it just below one of the tiles in that group. And now this tile belongs to the Explore group, and they can all be moved at once if I click over here on the right and drag it and drop it as a group. You may notice if I hover over this unnamed group that you can name the group. So if we left click here, we're given an edit text field where we can type in the name of the group. So I could just say miscellaneous here on the keyboard. And now we have a group title. Just as easily, I can left click on one that has a name. I can delete all of the text and remove the title. If we want to create a completely new group, then what we can do is take one or more tiles to the very bottom. And when we get down here, this one now belongs to this group, but we can create the new group by dragging it just a little bit further into this empty space. And then you'll see a little background prompt where we're actually creating a new group here. So as you can see, there's now a separator for the groups. We can add more items to this new group, and we can give it a name. So maybe I call it test group here. So if we do that in reverse to remove tiles from the groups, we can just bring all of these tiles up here to the top. And as soon as you remove all tiles from a group, that group is no longer available. So if we want to remove all of the groups, or at least as close as we can get to that, we can just put everything in one single group and the last tile right here. And then we can remove the name. So now effectively this is one giant blob of tiles, and we haven't organized any of them into groups. One more thing you may have noticed while we've been editing these tiles is that there is this blob of multiple tiles contained within a single tile up here. What we're expanding here is a folder of tiles. So it's basically a group that gets stored as a single tile. So we can name this, and I could call it Microsoft Stuff. Hit enter. And now if you look at that folder tile, it's going to have the tile there. So just like before with standard groups, we can add or remove items to this. So as long as you have the folder expanded, we can drag items out by pulling them down into a new space and then letting go. And if we expand it, it's no longer in that folder. So maybe we want to add more stuff to this folder. And now maybe we want to add more stuff to this folder. So while you're dragging tiles around, all the folders are going to collapse. So how you actually add an item in is that you drag it on top of the tile for the folder. So if I pop it in here, you'll see the tile gets a little bit bigger. And if you let go of it, it will add it to the folder. Now, one other thing you might be wondering about is how do I have all of my tiles with a green background? So the setting for this is actually more of a Windows setting, and we can access it by going into the search and then typing in color settings. So if I do that and I hit enter, open up this little window here, you can see that you can pick an accent color for Windows. So that's going to apply to all of these tiles and also the background color for the icons that you see on the left. So we can just choose any color from this list. So maybe we go with something like a orangey red. And in a second, Windows will update and we can click on the menu and we can see the background of our icons has now changed. Also, this does affect other minor things, such as the programs that you have open are going to have a orange underline now on the taskbar. Alternatively, if you want the accent to match your background, you can just check here. And Windows will pick one for you depending on what kind of background image you're using. You can also come down here and choose to add the accent color to items like the start menu and the taskbar. So now updating the color down there at the bottom. And if you want the color to be included in title bars, like up here in OBS, then we can go ahead and check title bars and window borders. And now the color on OBS has been changed to reflect that accent color as well. So one last thing about the tiles in the start menu. If you go back into the menu and you see one of these tiles animating, it may be flashing between different calendar events or photos on your computer or your gallery, or other related information, and it's usually with these Windows specific apps that you can actually turn off those animations if you desire, so that those tiles just behave like any other standard tile. And the way you do that is that you right click on them, you go to more, and you turn live tile off. So when you do that, it should be a static image from this point forward. So you can do that to all of your live tiles if you desire. So in a nutshell, that is going to be about it for reorganizing tiles inside of Windows 10 in the Start menu. So I've been Chris. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my future video content.